Best coaches in the game, we really ain't playing. We regroup up in the Slack chat where the coaches debrief. We be piecing these puzzles, occupy the chunk of the pie. Ain't no lie when we hit the block, helmets, casket is top. You be seeing helmet after helmet, helmet after helmet. First place, second place, fifth place, eighth place, 12th place, 15, 16, 20. So many helmets, you got blurred vision, we got too many. Check. Oh man, shit. They got us fucked up. Army, regroup. We pledge always to have that edge. We don't fire warning shots. Competition just dropped. We locked and loaded before lock. Whatever the time, yeah. Do you even correlate?
Being the best requires a willingness to outwork your competition. There's always someone smarter, faster, sharper, more naturally gifted to come around.
What up, everybody? It's your boy, DFS up north. Just checking to make sure my internet is working here and looking all right. Yeah, we are here for another prop playbook for Thrive Fantasy Week 3. I can't believe we're in Week 3 of the NFL season already. We've had 2 great weeks on Thrive. I'll tell you what, Week 1, crushed. Week 2, Thrive got some of their money back, right? Their lines were super sharp. Like even on the Thursday night game this week, right? They had the Laviska Shenault prop in their contest, and I smashed the over on it, 33.5 yards. And then DJ Chark gets ruled out, and I thought Shenault, like, guaranteed. I thought, oh man, I'm getting those points no matter what, baby. 33, half a yard. Couldn't believe it. So that was they've been sharp over there at Thrive Fantasy, and they've got some great props and games up for this week's main slate. I am super excited about it. How this a playbook podcast works is that we will kind of go through, talk a little bit about how Thrive operates. We'll talk about their contests, the difference between contests and the prop lobby. We'll walk through some of the contests and some of my selections using the DFSArmy Research Station, which you can only get if you are a DFSArmy VIP, with all the information that you would ever need to know about making lineups for DFS, for props, for whatever, in one spot for one low monthly price. And not only do you just get NFL, you get every sport for one low monthly price. Some of these sites you're going on, you're paying for just for NFL or just for PGA or just for NHL. Like, we get it all, baby. Everything. One low monthly price. If you are not VIP at DFSArmy, you can use the code UPNORTH and get 20% off for life. All right. You get 20% off for the rest of your life. And you know what? Like, we have one low price, right? That price, you are locked into that price forever. Your rates will never change. We have people who are still paying just a ridiculously low amount of money for what we provide, from who have been with us for 3-4 years now, right? So get in now. I'm not saying that prices are going to go up. We pride ourselves in being not only the best information providers, the best aggregators of information, the best coaches in DFS, but we pride ourselves in being the best value in DFS as well. So make sure that you get in. So let's check out some Thrive. Here's our research station that I was talking about, but let's bring this thing over to let's bring this over to our Thrive Fantasy site. All right. So once you log into Thrive Fantasy, it looks a little bit like this. You can scroll down. They've got, contests all up here. There's our NFL contests. They've got, CSGO, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Learned that this year during the pandemic on what that stands for, or during the lockdown when there was no sports. We've got NBA contests up for tonight, everything. So up at the top here, you can see where they've got the props lobby, contests, and then this is the contest lobby, right? So props lobby is different than the contest, right? So the contest, you have to pick 10 props out of 20 for most of them, and the person with the most points at the end wins. Whereas in the props, all you are doing is picking an over or under on a line. And if you pick 2 and you get both of them right, you 3.6x your money. You pick 3 and you get all 3 of them right, you 6.2x your money, meaning that you multiply your money however much you entered 10, you get 62 back. And if you get 4 for 4, you 11x your money. Love the prop lobby. It's one of my favorite things about this site. And we're going to come back and talk about a prop ladder at the end when we go through all these props, because I think that's a strategy that we've been using here at DFS Army with our VIPs and seen a ton of success lately. So they got props for every single game. I'm super excited about this Sunday. I think that there's a lot of good games on the contest, or good games out there in week 3. And some really interesting games too. And I tend to have a little bit more of a contrarian mindset than some people. So I might be calling some unders here that you might not agree with. So the main contest that they run every week is a $25, 15, 20, whatever it is each week, guaranteed contest. All right. And in this contest, if we look at it, again, you're going to pick 10 options out of 10 of the 20 props. And then, so each prop has an over or an under, and they're worth a different point value, right? So you're trying to get as many right as possible, and then you're trying to get the most points as possible. So there's 20 props here typically from the most popular games of the week. So we got the, Las Vegas, New England props up here. We've got, what's the under on Josh Jacobs? Like that. We got Houston and Pittsburgh. We got Cincy and Philly. We got San Francisco and New York. Derrick Henry. Oh man, I'm a Vikings fan, but Derrick Henry over 1.5 rush TDs. Like Derrick Henry scoring this weekend, people. So is Calvin Ridley. Jared Goff. We got Jonathan Taylor, who's been crushing it. So different than, like a regular DFS DraftKings type game. You don't have to be here, cheering for, Jordan Reed or Logan Thomas or some just Drew Sample for the Bengals guy that I like this week. Some just rando that you're hoping he scores a touchdown. Like if you're just a casual fan, now you can watch all the games. You can watch it on Red Zone and you can cheer for your props, right? They cut to Detroit and Arizona, right? Matt Stafford throwing a big long bomb. That's great for your 270 if you're picking the over. Or you're sitting there going, no, don't throw one more. Don't throw one more pass, right? Hoping that he gets hoping that he takes the under. It is a really, really fun way to not only just watch football, but to make some money too, right? And that's what we've been doing over here. So this is the main sort of contest that they have, and they have smaller options for those of you who don't want to pay $25 an entry. They have a contest where it is just touchdowns. All you're worried about is touchdowns here. Joe Mixon going to score a touchdown? Yes or no? Zach Ertz going to score a touchdown? Yes or no? Typically, the overs are going to be the better bets here in terms of point-wise. But again, sometimes you get a rush and a reception TD, right? Ooh, I love David Montgomery to score a TD against ATL this week. Yeah, I like that. But definitely, so all you're worried about is, again, touchdowns. And that's something that in the DFS Army Research Station that you can find. What do our projections say about touchdowns? Let's look at running back matchups, right? So I told you that I loved Montgomery, but let's just kind of scroll over here. And we have our projections, which I think are, again, the best in the industry. And we can show you what our projections say for touchdowns. So we go just sort descending for touchdowns. And we've got Derrick Henry at 0.8. Well, is there a touchdown prop for Derrick Henry here? There was one on that main contest. Is there one in here? Ooh, I don't think we're going to get it. All right, so he's in the main contest, right? But he's at 0.08. That's a smash play, right? Zeke Elliott, 0.7. I thought I just saw him over there. Struggling if I don't get this one either. All right, let's go over. Oh, yeah, there we go. Zeke Elliott, 0.5. Obviously, rushing and receptions TD. Overs only 80 points, but lock in those points, right? We have him projected for 0.7 rush TDs and 0.2 receiving TDs. So almost guaranteeing that he's going to score a touchdown. We got Miles Sanders at 0.6, right? So we like the over on Sanders. I love Sanders this week, by the way. I think that he is a smash spot. Yeah, and it's a rush and receiving TD. Like that is the lock button of the century. So again, you can just do this off the top of your head, knowing game script, like Miles Sanders is going against Cincinnati. They're not very good on defense. They're going to pound the ball, right? Because they don't want to throw it because they don't have any receivers left. So Sanders is going to get it a ton here, right? So you can just do that off game script, or you can go and look at our DFS Army world-class projections and say, okay, yeah, that makes sense, right? So I can take the over here. So definitely make sure that you're doing that again, and you're trying to make, the best decisions based on, safety too, right? You want to score, we're picking 10 props here. You probably want to be around 800-900 total, right? That one that you feel like is a lock is probably going to not happen. So taking the under, taking like the over on Zeke for 80 points, right? We just feel like we're really confident that Zeke's going to score here. Some people would shy away from that because it's like, oh, it's not a lot of points, right? But sometimes that's a great decision to make, right? Especially if you're going to gain some leverage on the field, like with this Eckler one. People love Eckler, but Joshua Kelly's there, right? Joshua Kelly's going to get the work at the goal line too. So Eckler, I don't think is going to score. So I don't mind taking the under there and just getting those points. People will be all over this T.Y. Hilton prop, right? Receiving touchdowns. But I mean, the Jets are terrible, but T.Y. Hilton's done nothing through, 2 weeks so far. So you take the over here, you're just gaining leverage on the field because, there could be 20% on the under, maybe less just because it's not a one that people love this week. But you're going to gain all sorts of leverage on the field, because again, people don't score as often as we would like sometimes. You want to get really contrarian, go Aaron Jones under rushing receiving TDs because the New Orleans rush defense is pretty dang good. So I definitely, I like, especially in like a TD only contest, I love getting a little bit contrarian with my plays. All right. We also have the other format that they have here is a versus, which is one of my new favorite things. So versus, essentially you are taking one player is going to get a handicap and one player is not, right? So like for this first one, it's total pass yards. Tannehill versus Cousins. Cousins is at 105 points and Tannehill gets actually 0.95 extra. So if Tannehill throws for 280 and Cousins throws Tannehill throws for 270 and Cousins throws for 276, Tannehill would actually win the prop because he gets an extra 9.5. Let's check the projections on this one, right? Because I can't imagine that we have Kirky Cuz projected for a ton. AJ Brown being out probably hurts Tannehill a little here. But I think that this could be a good one. All right, so our projections for Big Tanny have him at 243.9. I'm probably going to have to scroll all the way down here to find Kirky Cousins. So we're only projecting Cousins at 238. So not only are we projecting Tannehill at a higher passing yardage, but Tannehill gets the handicap here too. So I'm going to take the 95 points here and run. All right. Is there another QB one here that we can look at? All right. Darnold or Allen and Carr. All right. Derek Carr is interesting. This maybe is going to be a little bit on Darren Waller's health, but let's see what we've got. So we've got Allen, and this is just past TDs, I believe. Yeah, past TDs. Okay. All right. Let's take a look here. We're projecting Allen for 1.6 passing TDs. So just, under 2. But what are we projecting my boy Carr at? 1.4. Oh, man. I love the points there, but this is probably a no touch for me. Russie Wills versus Kyler Murray, pass yards and rush yards. All right, so Murray gets has a 12.5 point handicap here. So Murray's not going to get, Wilson's going to get those 12.5 points here. I think this is interesting. That Dallas game is going to be so fast paced. They are going to smash. This is pass and rush yards. So currently we are projecting Russell Wilson at 293 plus 23. I'm so bad at math, but 316. And we are projecting Murray at 321. Oof, it's tight, but I would take Wilson and the points here all day. So essentially that's how it's going to work, right? Pass TDs and interceptions. You could get, Drew Brees with all those pass TDs. I like that. Allen Robinson and Julio. So this is a really interesting one, right? Let me just bring this up here. I got to grab my phone to look at it. But Julio has been dealing a little bit of an injury. Let's see what his status is for this week, because here's the deal with these props. If a player does not suit up or does not play a snap, it will take that prop out and use one of your ice props here in case of emergency props. So for here, you got to pick 5 props and then you pick 2 ices, right? So those 2 ices are for in case, like if Julio's dealing with an injury, right? If he doesn't suit up for some reason, then you get that one replaced. But if he does suit up, plays a couple of snaps and then goes out hurt, man, you got like that counts. That is in. So you can get some clear advantage by taking, or by, some clear leverage on the field, and a big advantage by taking part on some of these props where you are dealing with somebody with a little bit of an injury. So Julio is still listed as limited. He practiced limited, didn't practice at all this week. Coach thinks he's gonna play. So yeah, I mean, I love Robinson this week. He gets a 0.15 or 15.5 handicap advantage anyways at 115. Like, that's a lock button prop for me this week. I love Julio, right? Guy throws the ball a ton. He's going to get a ton of yardage, but Robinson's the guy. Julio's dealing with Russell Gage. He's dealing with Calvin Ridley. He's even dealing with Todd Gurley and Hayden Hurst, right? So, like, Robinson will see all of the volume here. The secondary for the Bears is actually pretty good covering number ones. They're terrible in the slot with Buster Skrine. So Robinson, like 115 points, lock it up here. All right. So that is the versus. Okay, now we're going to go through and we're going to talk about my favorite props for the $25, $15,000 guaranteed contest that is starting tomorrow. Again, this runs all day, right? So don't just think that you're in first place after, the 3:00 games, and you got to deal with Sunday night too. First place, $37.50, which is a nice little payday. Second place, $2,000. Third place, $12.50. All the way down to 145th. There's only, I believe, 675 entrants into this contest. So again, what I would do is if I was building my lineups, I would just go through and I'm going to check and bump all of these, all right, on the DFSArmy Research Station, all right? The second thing that you can do is Thrive sets these earlier in the week. So injuries, game lines shift, things change. So you can check props on your favorite sports book and see, okay, how is this different, right? Because Thrive operates like a sports book, so their props lobby, they're going to change their props as the week goes on, right? We saw it last week with DJ Chark came out. So they, pulled their props and then added them back in with, Chenault and Cole getting different numbers on the receiving props. But with this contest, as soon as it's live, they can't change these props. So we can maybe find some value as the week goes on and lines shift, which happens all the time. All right, so that's the other thing that you can do. For today, we're just going to look at the research station and see what we got. So, we're just going to go through here. First one, we'll look at the quarterbacks first. We got Cam Newton, 240 pass yards. Let's take a look here. Newton, boom, 240. We have him at 234. So, that's close. It's close, but I like the under, and you're getting points there. Yes, please. Deshaun Watson, total completions. Big, tough game against Pittsburgh, but they're not going to be able to run. He's going to have to throw the ball here. So I'm interested to see. I have to imagine that this is going to be close to over 20. Yeah, so we got him at 21.6 pass completions. So if we're going to go over, it's only 85 points. But again, talked about it a little bit ago. Taking some of that safety value when you can on here is really, really, really important. Joey B. I love Burrow in DFS this week. I'm probably the only guy who is stacking up the Bengals. We got Joe Burrow for 1.4 pass TDs. Let's see. We got him at 1.5 here. This secondary is not that good. Look at the Eagles are going to rush Burrow a ton. All right. We've seen him be composed. We've seen him get active in the pocket, right? Moving up in the pocket. He's got Tyler Boyd running out of the slot, who has a fantastic matchup against the Eagles. There's an opportunity here for Burrow to just torch these guys by, understanding. I mean, he's a rookie. It's going to be tough. But if he can step up in the pocket and avoid this patch rush like Fletcher Cox and those guys, he could tear up the secondary. So I've been really impressed with what I've seen with Burrow so far. He's going to make mistakes. I do like the over here, though. I really do. I know that it's right on the edge with our props, but I really do like him here. Ooh, this is a really interesting prop. So Daniel Jones, 0.5 interceptions. And the under gets tons of money. All right, or tons of points here. We're projecting Jones to throw at least on average one interception. Now, against who, right? Then we know that the 49ers are beat the heck up, and they're going to be dealing with MetLife Stadium's turf, which they've already complained about. They had an independent person come in, check the field. They did say it was safe, but Shanahan said that he's going to limit guys' snaps, which for DFS, like I am so avoiding, besides maybe Jordan Reed, I am avoiding the San Francisco 49ers. But this is interesting. There's not a ton of healthy defensive players. Like Jones throws picks. I get it. They don't have a real running game, but I might get intrigued by the 125 points here that I can keep if he throws a game, a complete game and plays well. We talked about Derrick Henry, right? 0.8 on the touchdown props. Again, we just take the easy money here. Just take the easy money. 80 points. I'll take them all day. But we're still on quarterbacks here. So we got Goff, 275 against Buffalo. Buffalo gets this rap that they are, such a tough defense to play against, but Ryan Fitzpatrick just threw for 313 against them. So I'm really interested in the passing game of the Rams this week. Okay, we are projecting them at 258. So that's quite a bit under 275. We're getting 100 points. Like I said, I am super high, but I don't mind the 100 there at all. Dak, 2.5 pass TDs and interceptions. I can already tell you I'm going to hit the over on that. Even like he just throws those little dump offs to Zeke and Zeke runs them in. Like he's got to be up here on Dak Prescott. We have him right at 2 pass TDs and 0.6. So that's right at 2.5, which is exactly the line. I'll take the over. We'll see. 23.5 completions. Are they going to let him cook? They have been recently. I like the over. I don't think that they're going to try to run the ball a ton here against the Cowboys. If we expect this game to be that 56, 57 point total that they're projecting it to, I think the over is a very, very safe play here. We got Stafford. What's the completions? 270 yards. We are projecting Stafford at 286. Yes, please. I think this is another high scoring game that I want all sorts of pieces of. And then we got Rodgers and Breeze. Gonna have to scroll down here a little bit. So Breeze at 259 or 275. What's this prop here? 272. Here's the deal. Breeze has looked very mediocre lately throwing the ball. The only way that he's gonna get to 272 is if he pumps it to Kamara a ton. All right. And what you can do is you can actually kind of combine these two props. So if you think that, he's going to throw it a ton, maybe you just take both overs here. I think he's looked mediocre. I think you can actually take the under and the over. But this Kamara 103.5, like against the Lions or against the Pack. Yeah, all over that. We'll talk about that when we go through the RBs here. So definitely some interesting stuff. Pass TDs for Rodgers, 2.5. Throws 3, you get 130. We're projecting him at only 1.7. I think it's a risky play, but if you play a bunch of safe ones, yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. All right. So as you kind of go through, right now you can so we went through and we talked about all the quarterbacks. Now you can go back through and talk about the running backs. And I'm just going to off the top of my head, I don't love the Josh Jacobs one, but again, you want to get all these projections on these, come check out DFSArmy. Use that code up north. You get 20% off for life using code up north. So that is the main contest. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the props lobby and laddering up. All right. So what a ladder is, or a prop ladder is you're going to try to find the 2 safest props that you can. Oh no. Can we see me? Man, I've been having tons of issues with my camera lately. So you're going to try to find the 2 safest props that you can. And you are going to use them if anybody's watching and wants to comment, let me know if I lost my screen. This happened to me last week too, but I'm just going to keep talking through it. So if you want to check out the prop lobby, like I said, right, you can get 2 safe ones, right? Then you add a third that's more risky. And then you add a fourth to that same ones that you've been using, right, for the whole way through. And you are going to, and then trying to get that fourth. So what happens is if you bet $10 on all of them, if you win the first one, you cover your bets on the next two, right? So you're really just trying to win that first one to live to fight another day. If you can get all of them, right, then you smash. So let's see some of my favorite props. Love Jordan Akins this week. But that is a riskier prop. All right. So what I want to do is I want to kind of scroll through here and try to find something that's a little safer than that. All right. Let me see. I love these two props. Corey Davis and Ryan Tannehill, or Jonnu Smith. I love the overs there. All right. I think that those are both really interesting. Especially with what's his face, AJ Brown out. But again, we're looking in here for the safest bets that we can find. All right. DeAndre Hopkins has been smashing lately. Zeke Elliott, Russell Wilson rush yards, Michael Gallup receiving yards. I actually like the under on that Kenyon Drake prop. Trying to find something super safe here. All right, let's go to the research station. Let's look at DeAndre Hopkins. All right, if you can't hear me talking right now, I'm just going to type that in here. If you can't hear me talking, please comment. Man, tons of issues. Okay. DeAndre Hopkins. Let's load this up here and see what we're projecting him for receiving yards this week. So we're projecting DeAndre at 94.1 receiving yards. That seems like a very, very safe over bet. All right. So that's going to be part of my core that I'm going to ladder up with. All right. So that DeAndre Hopkins bet. Now I got to find something to go with that bet. All right. Oopsies. Props lobby. Go back down and get this DeAndre Hopkins one in there. And I'm going to look at the Jonathan Taylor. Here's what I like about some of these. I like to get on some of these lower yardage totals just because I think that, we can, take advantage of that. So week 3 reception yards for Allen Robinson, we got 71 and the prop is for A-Rob 65. That's close. It's close to safety. Where do we got here? Keenan Allen. I know I saw one for him here. 66 on the prop. 66. That's tight. That's tight, right? We don't want to get ourselves too tight here. Wilson, yeah, he could run that. Jonathan or Justy Herbert, if that was passing rush yards, I'd be all over that. Oh, Ertz. Love me some Ertz. 46 yards? Come on now. What do we got for projections here? All right, we got Ertz at 53, and we're looking for 46. Yeah, so I would go Hopkins and Ertz. All right, then let's maybe throw in like a Jonathan Taylor, right? I know that line's at 77. Let's see what that looks like. Jonathan Taylor, 77 yards. Let's scroll over projections. We're projecting him at 75 rush yards against the Jets and their terrible defense. So, again, not one that I really am too excited about touching if it's going to be that high. We talked about Jordan Akins. I love that one. Cooper Kupp, 4.5 receptions. I don't mind that. So if I was going to get, Jonnu, and Corey Davis. Let's go to tight end matchups. Jonnu Smith is dealing with a little bit of an injury, but he is healthy. 48 is our prop there. So now we would add Jonathan Taylor or Jonnu Smith. Yeah, at 41.5, absolutely. And then maybe a Jordan Akins, right? He's been playing great. He had 7 targets last week. So that would round out my 4. All right. So again, use that prop lobby, but use it where you're going 2, 3, 4, and then working your way up, and you're essentially just covering yourself with that too. All right. Again, if you are a first-time user for Thrive Fantasy and you deposit for the first time and you use the code DFS up north, you get a match of up to $50 on your very first deposit. Use that code up north for the match. And that is the prop playbook for this week, people. I will chat with you next week. Good luck. Hit me up in the DFS Army Slack if you got any questions.